Right.
All right, we should be live. Welcome, everybody, to Eternal Life fans. I am honored to be here with the man, the myth, the legend, Rowan Horn. Thanks for having me, Rowan.
It's good to have you here, Brent. This is awesome.
And today we're talking about how to solve the human aging problem, as we pretty much do in every live stream or video that we produce, at least in some form. But we have some interesting current events that are going on that we'll try and weave into that today.
Yes, today is Holocaust Remembrance Day, International Holocaust Remembrance Day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video I made. Brent, I know you watched it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was great, and I put a little comment in there. That's the last video that you made just a few hours ago here on this channel, everybody. So check it out. And then I shared it on Facebook and tagged my mom, brother, sister, and then a lot of my cousins. A few of them are here in the States, but most of them are in Israel. And I've been to Israel a few times. I have my mom's brother moved to Israel in 1980, I believe, and then he married a Israeli Yemenite woman in 1990, and they have 8 kids. And the oldest of their kids, I think she's 29 now, Yiska, and she has 4 kids of her own. So they have a lot of repopulation to do after the Holocaust. And it's I even commented, if you saw on your YouTube channel in the comment, that it's even sad people today, or there's Holocaust deniers, right? Even
Yeah.
though we have video evidence of this, and I've met Holocaust survivors and spoken with them. I've been to every major Holocaust museum that I know exists on the planet, the one in Israel, the one in Chicago, the one in DC, New York, LA, Berlin, in Germany at the
Wow,
Holocaust
that's
Museum.
awesome. That you've really taken the time to study it, and that's awesome.
I've just found it very, very, very interesting, and I've been curious. I like to know how reality actually works. Not how people think reality works, but how reality actually works has always been what I've been interested in from a very young age. So my question was, how could people go along with this? And how did these events occur and get this bad to where we look back on them now and it's so obvious, but when you're in the moment, everybody's just kind of going along with it,
Right.
you know? Right. Sound
Herd,
familiar?
herd
2021,
mentality.
right? Herd mentality. And if I even bring some of this up, it gets a little tense and sensitive, right? With 2020, what do you mean? Are you an anti-masker, a pro-masker, anti-vaccine, pro-vaccine? Should we shut everything down or leave it open? And it's just like, these
Right.
are not the easiest questions, but to me, I have my answers and I filter them through my reality of what I've studied. And I can tell you with the Holocaust, from my analysis of literally watching hundreds of documentaries, reading many books, watching many movies on this stuff, studying it pretty in depth. Um, the people were just going along with this for the most part, in Nazi Germany. And so they were just taking orders. I got a job. I got a wife and kids to feed. Orders came from the boss. I'm in the military. I'm a Nazi. It is what it is, right? They knew in the back of their mind they were doing something wrong, most of them, but they went along with it,
Right.
right? And same thing with the citizens, right? There's that quote, they came for the Jews, but I said nothing because I was not a Jew, and so on down they came for the union workers, but I was not a union worker. Eventually, man, if you don't stand up and have a backbone, they're going to end up coming for you, and there's not going to be anybody there to save you,
Right.
because they've all been taken out.
Have you ever seen those experiments where they actually showed how, you know, susceptible people are to the herd mentality? I forgot what it's called. I think it starts with an A, the Ash or experiment or something. And it shows just
Yes,
people just do what everyone else does. They just do exactly. They just copycat, monkey see, monkey do. People have no life. They just succumb to the herd so easily. It's crazy.
yeah, Rowan, and I think we've even talked about this stuff before, maybe not on a live stream, or maybe just in private. But I was a corporate communications major in college at University of Kentucky, so we actually studied all sorts of things like that. And throughout my college degree, we ended up in different courses. It's like, oh, we already learned this sophomore year, and I'm in the senior year, like health communications course. Now they're talking about that. So Yeah, I mean, my favorite one, it was on an episode of Brain Games. It was they kind of recreated one of those studies. And
Hmm.
what they did, and by the way, if you've never seen the show Brain Games, I highly recommend it. They've done at least like 6 seasons. At least I've seen the first 6 seasons. It was with Jason Silva, who's one of us. He's an immortalist. Show started, and he was the host. And one of the episodes, they showed some actors that were in a waiting room in a doctor's office, and they're sitting there, and as soon as like a bell rings or something, they just stand up for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then they just sit back down. So then you come in as like a patient waiting in the waiting room. You don't know that these people sitting next to you in the waiting room are actors. You see them stand up, and you're like, this is really bizarre. And their look on their face was like, why are they standing up? But eventually, most people, all the people in the show, end up just going along with it, and they just end up standing up with
Now
the
I
actors,
remember seeing that one. That was awesome.
right?
That was
And then
crazy.
the funny thing is, right? The funny thing is that the actors, end up getting called in by the doctor's office, so they're eventually out of there. Then you have, 3 or 4 or 5, however many people in the waiting room. None of them are actors, and they're all just standing up now when this bell rings. None of them know why the hell they're doing it. They're just doing it because the precedent was set by the people before them. And there you have modern day culture, religion, all this nonsense of things that like we're just doing because
Acceptance
we
of
were
death
taught
as well, right? Just the acceptance of death
of
is
death, right? You'll never cure aging. Like, do you have any idea what you're talking about? Are you a microbiologist? Do you have
yeah.
any type of, are you a gerontology, in any event, I love stuff like that, herd mentality. And as an investor, I've had to study a lot of those things as well too, so I don't get wrecked in the stock market. And it's helped me make money by understanding these types of herd mentality things, which we can get into what's going on right now in finance and how we could potentially leverage this strategy to help invest in longevity public companies to help solve the human
Yeah.
point in this
The
live
herd
stream.
mentality also fits in nicely with coronavirus as well, doesn't it? the,
Yeah, it really does. It's really complex and in depth, and we're living in a big crazy world with 7.8 billion people, different types of economies and different geographies, landscapes. So yeah, it's right now with the vaccine going on right now, they're saying, well, looks like Israel is going to have most, if not all, of their population vaccinated with the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine, and meanwhile, like you hardly have any percent of the population vaccinated in the U.S. And people are saying, well, why can't we be more like Israel? And it's like, well, because we're not. There's positives and negatives of being in a big country like the U.S. or a small country like Israel, and that's regardless of like your thoughts on the vaccine of the worries about it and the risks. The
oh,
point is that like,
sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
we have some people in the comments. Hey, people, what's up? What's up?
there's
Hi,
Sandra,
Sandra. Hi, Infinite Siren. Thank you
Infinite
for
Siren. I
thank you
agree.
thank
Rose facial hair,
thank
Infinite
you for
Siren.
complimenting my facial hair. I'm gonna go for the Aubrey de Grey. Uh, I'm gonna try to beat Aubrey de Grey right there, right there. I'm
You got your
starting. I'm
work cut out.
announcing today that I'm gonna try to beat Aubrey de Grey's length. I'm gonna go longer than Aubrey de Grey. What do you think? Can I do it? Can I do it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna.
That'd be quite a arduous
I
task you'd be
cannot.
signing.
I cannot beat the king. I cannot beat the king's beard. No way.
Yeah.
Won't dare try.
Well, welcome Sandra and Infinite Siren and anybody else watching right now. So Rowan, where do you want this conversation to lead?
Um, we could talk about maybe some. We want people to know what they can do right now, right? The practical information they can do right now to cure their own aging. To stop aging themselves. That's what we need to know.
Well,
the
unfortunately,
most practical information right now. How could we just stop aging right now, cure aging? How do we do it? Come on, Brent, you got to tell us.
unfortunately, at the current moment, there's nothing that I know of that we can actually do right now to stop aging or reverse it. There's lots of things that I know that help, slow it down or make you age more gracefully, so to speak. And I'm trying to do as many of those things I can do on a daily basis. We talk about them all the time, so I'll just run through them in like 15 to 20 seconds. A, get plenty of sleep, eat healthy organic foods, do intermittent fasting, think positive, go outside, get plenty of sunlight, have social interaction. Um, and I'd say those are really the main things. Stay active, keep an active mind, keep an active body, and stay positive. Find a way to stay positive. We all can get down time to time, day to
Yes,
day. Stay
positive. The right
positive. And
music.
then,
The right
why don't you,
music.
yeah, talk about what you've been going through the last couple of weeks. You've been posting a lot on social media, and you've
Yeah.
been trying to rewire your brain. It seems
You can,
with
yeah.
positive music.
You really can rewire your brain. You can force yourself to be way more positive, way more because it's the music. Okay, so you find the right music, and you can ride that wave of positivity. You know, if you get into the song, if you really get into it and try to absorb the energy of the music, right, and you feel it, and then you can ride that wave, and it's like you can rewire your brain to be more positive, or any particular message of a song that you really like, if you repetitively listen to the song over and over and over again, you can really brainwash yourself to change yourself. It's like, right? Aren't we just the patterns of habits of
Yeah.
things we listen to and the information that we go into our brain? So you can really put on the right music and you can totally rewire your personality, your identity with the type of music you want. You know, you can use it as a brainwashing tool. I know it's like crazy, but it's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're very malleable, plastic individuals, and we're constantly rewiring our brains, some more than others. We know that the neuroplasticity goes down as we get older, which is kind of like the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Right.
Um, However, nevertheless, it's an empowering understanding once you understand that concept that you can have a growth mindset, continue to rewire your brain in the shape that you aspire to be, you know? So, yeah, you've been listening to a lot of Alanis Morissette. Looks like recently you're definitely a child of the 90s like me. I mean, I'm born in
Yes.
85. I think you were born in what, 87 or 88, but we grew up in the 90s, really.
Yeah, exactly. I was born in 84. Um, wait, 80,
Hold up, you were born in 84? No.
87. Sorry, 87,
Yeah,
1987.
oh,
What?
yeah.
What?
No.
What?
Was
1987.
your brother born in 84? Was that why you had the slip in the tongue?
No, I just four. You know, four is my number, so maybe I flipped it. I'm always talking about four. I'm always thinking about four, so maybe I just flipped it in my brain.
Hold
Um,
up, real quick. That's for your number. I don't think I knew that about you.
yeah, it's just some. It's like a really special number to me, as it's like lucky. It's like a lucky number, you know, the four-leaf clover. I've just noticed there's a lot of things in my life where it's like I see the number four, and it's like, whoa, it's something really special to me. You know, like with
Hmm.
like an album cover, you might see four or this or four or that, and it's like you see the four, and it's like, whoa, it's special. It's
Four
like this
seasons.
four seasons. There's just a lot of things with four. You know, it is
Unless you
really
live in California, we don't really have four seasons here in most places.
yeah. And I'm interested in numerology. It's something I want to study more. Have you ever studied numerology? Because you see these weird numbers and you see like repetitive numbers. You see four ones, you see four threes. Today I saw four threes. My Eternal Life fan club has four threes in a row subscribers, and I was like thinking, okay, numerology. What if there's something to that? Have you ever studied it?
Not extensively. I've watched some cool documentaries on stuff like that. I think Alex on a live stream a couple nights ago was talking a little bit about that from a philosophical standpoint of different philosophers who have, you know, talked about if the universe itself is just made up of numbers and language is made up of numbers. And that is the mindset and the understanding that I have. If you look at Ray Kurzweil describing like reality and the singularity, he's just saying if you just keep going down further and further and further, into the quantum level and then all the way down to the Planck length scale, which is like the smallest scale, um, measurable scale. We can't keep going down forever. It's just like infinity on infinity. But the philosophical argument or like belief of these philosophers, and I don't know their name. Alex knows all this stuff. Is that basically everything is math, and that's what I like personally believe. And having this belief is powerful to me in helping me understand that we can and will solve the human aging problem. First of all, nature has already done it by making some species appear to be biologically immortal, like Hydra, for example. So there's no reason. They're just Hydra is made up of A, C's, T's, and G's, just like us, in their DNA.
Lobsters,
So why?
another one, right? Lobsters.
There's I like to stick with Hydra because they're very well, like obviously, understood to be biologically immortal.
They
From
found
my
some.
research,
Have you heard they found some clam? Like some clam was like 400
they,
year old clam or something.
they found clams that are like 500 years old. Apparently, lobsters don't age. Other types of animals as well too, like tortoises live to 200, blue whales, but there's a few things. Number one, it's really hard to measure those things because first of all, a few hundred years is not biologically immortal. That's just a few hundred years. So we don't actually know if those things are biologically immortal. We just, like, scientists posit that they may be. But
Right.
if you look at Hydra, Hydra seems to be actually biologically immortal, and it also has many other like incredible regeneration capabilities. It can be ace. It's normally reproduces asexually, like it's this little, it's like this little
Wow.
long, and normally it reproduces by just like having itself like come out of its like leg essentially, and it just
Wow.
makes another itself like that. But sometimes for like reasons it can't do that, it actually can reproduce sexually as well too. It can turn itself into a male or a female and then like reproduce. Go to Wikipedia, go to Google, type in Hydra, Hydra,
Mm-hmm.
and then read the Wikipedia. I mean, it's incredible. Now, listen, I know astroturfing. I know not everything's true on Wikipedia. I've done some other research to verify, but yeah, go to images. That's it right there. Scroll down. That one. That's Hydra right there on the
Right.
left.
This one, right?
Yeah, that one on the yeah, that one you're hovering over. Obviously, Hydra is also a mythical creature, which
Look
is
at
the
that.
multi-headed dragon.
Wow.
But
Look
that's
at that. It
there.
has like arms.
It's incredible.
Whoa.
Go to the Wikipedia. There's pictures of it on Wikipedia, and we could read off a little bit on Wikipedia.
That's
But the point
amazing.
is that
Okay.
Hydra certainly appears to be biologically immortal. They have jellyfish that this Japanese scientist has been studying for like 3 or 4 decades. That he shows that jellyfish essentially are immortal, but jellyfish is different. Jellyfish is just kind of like recreating itself, which now we're getting into semantics and language a little bit here because we're all kind of like recreating. Like when I had my son, I'm kind of recreating like half of myself because I'm giving half my genes and my wife is giving like half of her genes essentially. It's actually not exactly half. If you've done 23andMe, like my wife and I have, I think I have like 49.4% of my dad's DNA and like 49.6% of my mom's. So
Wow.
according to 23, it wasn't half exactly, but you get the point,
Mm-hmm.
roughly.
Right.
But yeah, if you look on here,
Which one do I
can you
go to?
shrink it?
Oh,
Can you like make the screen a little bit smaller so we can read a little bit more of it?
this is the page that redirects you to other pages.
Right. So scroll down. Um, there's astronomy, computing, keep going. Fictional entities, keep going. Film and television, music, artists, keep going. Songs, places, ships, keep going. Other uses. Look under other uses. You went past
Oh,
that. I
other
can't see it.
uses. Oh, okay.
Blurring.
Okay.
German Hydra Trophy. Go to C also. Huh, that's weird. I know I was looking at this on Wikipedia. I mean, Wikipedia, I guess, is updating and changing all the time. Type into Wikipedia like Hydra species.
Hydra species. Okay.
If that doesn't work, you could like Google Hydra species Wikipedia or something like that. Oh, genus. There it is, right there. Run. It's on Wikipedia. It's
Oh,
the second one down.
genus. Ah,
Hydra. There it is.
there we
This is
go.
it. This is Hydra. So yeah, folks, read through this if you're curious, because this species, if if evolution has already solved the aging problem for this species, and it's just AC's T's and genes that make up its AC's T's and G's that make up its genes, then why can't we do it? And
Wow.
I definitely agree with Aubrey de Grey and many other brilliant gerontologists.
That should be a mind blowing moment for people right there. Just think about that. You
Right.
know. It's
But I certainly agree with Aubrey de Grey and other intelligent gerontologists and people who study aging, which is that aging just appears to be the accumulation of molecular damage. And just like we, clean up cars and take care of them and houses, there's no reason why we can't clean up and repair and take care of the human body and keep it going indefinitely. If you ignore a house for 100 years, it's going to look terrible. If you run a car into the ground and don't take care of it, it's gonna fall apart. But there's houses that were built over 100 years ago that look great and are in great condition, and there's cars that were built literally 100 years ago that look great and are in great condition because they've repaired it and exchanged parts, and it's been well taken care of and valued by its owners. And to be clear, that car built in, let's say, 1921, that's 100 years old right now in 2021, it was never intended to still be in use 100 years in the future. That's when they manufactured that in 1921, they were not manufacturing it for 100-year use. However, again, the owner or owners of the car or caretakers of the car took such good care of it that it could still be running 100 years later. So it's that same concept. Obviously, the body is much more complex than a car, but essentially, philosophically, we are just a machine, a very complex biological machine, but we're a machine. And if we take care of it and focus on damage repair and regeneration, then theoretically, from everything that I know, there's no reason why we can't solve the human aging problem. We just have to get to work on it and invest in it.
right.
And in this live stream, we'll talk about some innovative ways that I've kind of figured out that's going on right now in the market, things that are going on where we could apply those to biotech companies that are trying to solve the human aging problem and see if we can get them a lot of funding. So we'll talk about that in a little bit coming up.
Ooh, fantastic. I think we should just tell the audience, take care of your machine. Take care of it. Treat it like a Maserati. Like the most precious car ever. There's nothing more important than your machine.
I completely agree. The problem is, though, with our current knowledge, with the current knowledge that I'm aware of, and I've been researching this stuff nonstop for like 16 years. Too, Rowan. I don't know of any way to get us to live past 122 years right now. I mean, maybe there's certain things that I know of that can get us past 122, but to my knowledge, we haven't actually done that yet because the oldest lived person is like 122 years and like 169 days or something like that. And then people bring up things like the Bible and what about this
And you're
story and
talking
that
about
story? And
Jean
it's like,
Comment, right? You're talking about Jean Comment?
right.
And
And I'm
that's
just
even
like, listen,
disputed now.
if we're
That's even disputed. You've heard about that, right?
exactly. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. And there's good reason why it could have been why they could have committed this fraud because of government healthcare and government payments. So it's the fraud accusations or that John Clement actually didn't live that long, but that her daughter took over the identity of her to collect the government payments in France. She was a woman who lived in France and she died apparently in the late 90s. So who knows? Listen, my point is I've investigated that stuff and I find it fascinating, but it's kind of like Satoshi Nakamoto and cryptocurrency. It doesn't matter at this point. Like let's not get caught up in the things that don't matter. Let's focus on the things that matter.
Right. But
Whether she
Jean
actually lived to
Comment,
100.
back on the Jean Comment before we leave her, it does make you think about chocolate. It does make you think about chocolate in a very different way. If the oldest person is eating 2 pounds every week, you can give yourself permission to eat quite a lot of chocolate.
I
You
love
know,
chocolate.
yeah,
I eat a lot of chocolate. I love it. I try to eat dark, organic chocolate,
yeah,
but I don't always. Chocolate's around. It's hard for me to turn it down.
right.
No, but Rowan, your point's well taken. That we want to try and mimic the lifestyles and behaviors, all behaviors, mindset, everything. It's very complex. But we want to try and mimic the environment outside and inside in our brains and neurochemistry of what centenarians and super centenarians have already done. So I've studied a lot of centenarians and super centenarians and their behavior. That's very important. I don't want to downgrade that. So I want to recognize what you just said. That's important.
Right.
What I was talking about is, to me, it's irrelevant if this one individual, Jean Clement, lived to 122 or didn't, because we have enough data to know that people can live up to about the year 120. But that seems to be about the limit for humans from, rational, logical, modern day scientific
Not
evidence
if
with
I have anything to say about it.
I
We're gonna change that.
and my point is that we might already have lots of therapies right now that can get us past there, but we won't know until we actually have people verifiably living that much longer.
Right.
And part of what my company Longevity Plan is trying to do, and it's not just my company, we're very early stage. There's many other companies and academia right now that are trying to take these very accurate DNA methylation biological clocks that have been pioneered mainly by Steve Horvath at UCLA. And now that they're at this point where they're extremely accurate, Grim age, for example, is the best predictor of when you will succumb to biological aging and die. It's the best predictor of your mortality than even your chronological age. There's no more accurate test than the Grim age test. So it measures your biological age, how old you actually are, better than anything else. So now that we have this, we need to start actually doing before and after tests of this, testing people. Get your Grim age test done, DNA methylation. It says, hey, Brent, you're 35 years old right now chronologically, but the Grim age test says that you're 32 from your biological DNA methylation clock. Now let's inject a bunch of stem cells into you and then retest you in 3 months.
I can't
I'm trying to work
wait
on,
until
yeah,
all
all
these
these
all
things.
these testing, all these like personalized medicine things are made way more cheaper, affordable, available to common people, like Elizabeth Holmes was trying to do with blood testing. Like
Right.
that's what we need. We need personalized medicine. Imagine what you could do with all that data, right, on your health. You could just be like, oh, I'm deficient in this. Oh, I need to eat a little bit more. I should eat a little bit more of this. Oh, my microbiome's a little off. I need to get the probiotics. And it's like you can see exactly what you need. Oh, your sleep. Oh, I could benefit from some red light therapy. Oh, maybe I need some more peanut butter in my diet. It's like you get to see what you need.
That's the whole point. That's the idea.
More
I'm
peanut butter
going
in my
right
diet.
now to Eternal Life Fan here in the live stream, and I'm going to put in a link to our company, Longevity Plan. So this is what we're working on. Sign up. It's free. We're in very early stages now. We're just going into beta, so I'm not making any overwhelming promises or anything. But sign up, and that's what we're going to basically try to do. We're going to try and be a platform where you can test yourself before and after. It'd be like a social network. I just put it in the live stream there for you guys to check out.
Oh, perfect.
I'll put it in the link in the comments
Oh,
as
cool.
well
I can
too.
even open it up and I can show it on the screen. Here it is. Right here.
Perfect.
Longevity plan.
Yeah,
Look at
so
that. This
let's
looks beautiful. Look at this. This is gorgeous.
let's do a quick little demo. So Rowan, you are what, 32 or 33?
I am 33. Isn't
Okay,
that
so
funny? I'm 33, and today I had 3333 on my YouTube channel.
there you go. And this is your Jesus birthday. So
Jesus' birthday. What's that?
he died when he was 33,
Oh, okay.
supposedly.
Did anything
If you
special happen to you on your Jesus birthday?
no. Okay, so Rowan, if you go to the right, see how it says 37, you can scroll that. So click on 33 for yourself. We'll show people how to kind of walk through a little demo here. So click on
33.
33,
Uh-huh.
and you could just sign up right there too. You can click on the sign up, but we'll walk through the little onboarding process
Click on the
first.
sign up.
Okay. No, click on how to extend my life.
Uh, how to
We'll
extend
sign
my
up
life.
after this. Yeah. Okay, so then you can see the mission statement there. It looks pretty blurry to me right now, Rowan. I don't know if, let me go to the YouTube. Okay, it looks much more clear here. Yeah, so people can see it. So our mission is to show you the value of a longer and healthier lifespan and to help you get there. So blah, blah, blah. You guys can go there and read through all this. You can click next, Rowan.
Oh, next. Oh,
Down right there. Yep. So we're just kind of trying to explain to people, the difference between chronological and biological age. And we say that, hey, if you do nothing, the average life expectancy is 79. So you're expected to die at this age based off your current chronological age and where the current life expectancy is right now. Hopefully, we'll extend out the life expectancy as we get older, but that's undetermined. We can't predict the future.
right.
So that's kind of what it's saying there. So you click next. And then now we're kind of explaining to you what I was talking about a few minutes ago, how we have accurate DNA methylation biological clocks now. So if you've actually been tested, then you could put that in there and we'll build out features, where you can actually implement those in there and then we could run it through our machine learning and all of our data crunching AI. But we don't have that at this time. We'll have to build that out. So then if you click next, it's
Oh,
kind of
look, you can
showing you,
adjust it right here too.
right,
Cool.
adjust based off your biological age and
It's
test that
very
you.
good HTML. You can just tell they put a lot of work into this. This is
Yeah, thanks. The team's been working hard.
yeah.
So then you can see there on the graph that it shows just because you're getting older chronologically, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get older biologically. So we want you to get, younger biologically if possible and stay as young biologically
Who
as
wrote
possible.
this? Who wrote this stuff?
So we put it together as a team. Yeah, longevity plan team is the five of us. It's myself. I'm the CEO. Anton is our he is in Ukraine. He's our CTO, and then Vladimir Trofanov is our CIO, and then Paul Spiegel is our Chief Legal Officer. Paul Spiegel
Right
sits on the
there.
board of
Look,
Leaf.
we got the
There's our
board.
about page, right? And then Keith is our longevity expert. So we're the co-founders. And then if you keep scrolling down, Rowan, you were just talking about Aubrey de Grey. Keep going, keep
There we
going.
go.
Aubrey, our scientific advisor.
There's the master
So
commander.
as we scale on our scientific advisory board, people that we've interviewed on our longevity channel, like Dr. Brian Kennedy, who's now the head of um, the National University of Singapore, leading Singapore in the longevity science, hopefully helping out that nation, slow, stop, and reverse aging so that we can learn from them and do it other places as well. So hopefully we add more credible scientists to our longevity scientific advisory board as time marches along.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
great work, I must say. It's very impressive. I'm impressed. Thoroughly.
Well, we're just getting started. This is just the beginning, hopefully. So if you just
Infinite Siren loves chocolate. Yes, yes, thumbs up for chocolate, people. You know, something about chocolate, it actually has a natural cannabinoids in it. Natural cannabinoids. So, CBD,
right,
it's natural way of getting CBD in your body, which maybe there's a connection there. Maybe that's why it's making your live so long, you know? What
Oh,
if
I
that's
certainly
pointing
think
to
that's.
CB? What if that's pointing to CBD as one of the most, supplements for longevity, possibly.
Yeah, I think that there's 100% a connection there. It's been studied for many years. Eating chocolate helps produce oxytocin, which is really good for you. It's a good longevity chemical.
Magnesium
Um,
too. Magnesium.
right. But we're not going to eat our way to, infinite immortality and, human life with chocolate. So we need actual therapies, to get us there at that point. So I think gene therapy is, going to be the way that we're going to ultimately solve the human aging problem, or some type of a longevity vaccine or something. But it's probably not going to be, the first version of that vaccine or gene therapy that's going to get us there. It's probably going to be many years or even decades to get us there. I mean, hopefully it happens tomorrow.